And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Master of Rules is a trick-taking game, one that I thought I would really enjoy after reading the rules. It's a game in which you're basically playing cards that have various numbers and suits on them, and then playing a rule card and trying to make sure that your rule card matches it on the table. Well, the game leaves me feeling fairly cold. I really should like this idea. I just felt like there was too little control at some times, and there's too much control messing over other players. Let me explain by showing you how a game works. The game basically takes place over 10 different rounds, and in each round, players are going to be playing 2 different cards from their hand. Players will have rule cards in their hands, and there's 5 different rules cards, and I'm showing them to you here. And then there's cards that come in 5 different suits, and I'm showing you the 5 different suits, a different color and also a different shape. And the cards are numbered from 1 to 9. So there's 45 number cards, and there's piles of rule cards, just multiples of the 5 different ones. On a player's turn, or during each round, one player leads off, and then everyone follows suit. Everyone's going to play one card, and then everyone's going to play another card. Now, the first card you can play is either a number card or a rule card, but the second card you play has to be different. So if you play a number card the first time, then the second time, you need to play a rule card so that you have 2 cards in front of them. So when you play a cards, then, we're looking at the rule cards. Now, you can only play a rule card if no one else has played it, unless that's all you have in your hand, which happens a lot. So let's look at some of these. The first one here, and the easiest one, is only one, or I shouldn't say the easiest one, but only one here. To get this card means you have to be the only person who has that color or number on the board. So this gentleman, who actually has a 6, this gentleman would not get it, because while he's the only person with blue, he's not the only person with a 6. So he failed his rule. But that's what only one means. Limit 23 means the total sum of all the numbers played has to be higher than 23. 11, 16, 22, 28, easy. This guy gets to keep his card because he got it. Trio means there has to be 3 cards of the same number or the same color. Well, I don't see 3 cards of the same color or 3 cards of the same number, so sorry, Trio, you don't get yours either. Best of the best means you need to have the highest number in the color that there's the most of. So for example, let's say these are the cards that were played. Best of the best would go to this guy if he played it, because he played the highest number in the color that there's the most of. Even though the green 9 is the highest number, it doesn't get best of the best because it's the only green and there's more blues than greens. Kind of a pain. This guy played it on the 5. Fail. Support right means you are hoping that the person on your right succeeds with their rule. So you play your card. You basically play your card to help them accomplish their goal. And if they do so, then you get to keep it. Now, after a player plays a card, there's going to be 5 cards, or there's going to be a card for each player in the middle. So let's say there's 5 players. This is what the middle looks like. If I play a number card, I get to pick one of these to take in my hand. Again, giving you ideas for the next round. If you play a rule card, you can take one of the rule cards and put that in your hand. This continues at the end of the game. However many, each rule card that you've taken is worth 1 point. If you have multiples of the same rule cards, you can get bonus points. For example, here I get a bonus 2 points. And if you have one of every card, all 5 rule cards, you get bonus points for that also. Whoever has the most points is the winner. Don't get me wrong, I like trick-taking games. I love games like David and Goliath and Hearts and Spades and all the different games where you're trying to throw cards in the middle and win. I also like the idea of logic. But this game just really, I felt a lack of control, especially if you're one of the first 3 players to go. You can decide whether to throw your number card out first, or your rule card out first, or your number. Well, you throw the rule out, everyone knows what rule you're having, and it's pretty easy to mess it up. If you throw out your number card, then when it comes around to your turn, you're going to play a rule card based on the numbers, and you may not have one that matches. Yes, you can take cards and put them in your hand and stuff. Some of these rules are harder to get than others. The trio is pretty easy. If 2 people have played the same color or the same number, if you happen to have either of those in your hand, bam, you got the trio. Getting the best of the best is a little bit more difficult, though, because you have to coordinate. And I don't know, the game just feels like more work than it should be. I like trick-taking games to be something you can play and have a good time and maybe memorize the deck if you're really good and sharp and get more involved in it. But this one just, I don't know. It's not bad, but I didn't really like it that much, and I won't be playing it again because I just don't enjoy it that much. There's a card to mark how many rounds have been, and you have to provide your own marker to put on that card. And then I hate dummy players, but there's dummy players if you're playing with less than 5. Then you play with extra dummy players at random numbers that they pull on the table. Even more fun. Real pain in the neck, I think. So, sorry, I can't recommend this one.
Thanks for joining us today. For more written, audio, and video reviews, as well as the #1 board game podcast, check out the website at www.thedicetower.com. Until then, this is Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.